Hey YouTube, welcome back to Dwayne's World. So Dwayne, have you used your catalyst on your perennial rye yet? Well, today is that day. You want to see what it's going to look like? You better stay tuned. Alright guys, so welcome back to Season 4, Episode 3. Here on Dwayne's World. I'm very excited about today's episode because I'm going to be breaking out the catalyst. I have not used that mower in quite a while, and I'm going to be using it on my perennial rye. Now, if you guys have seen my last video, I featured my Ego rotary mower with my new striping kit, and I've really been using that for the most part up to about a couple weeks ago, where I did get in a couple mows with either the McLean or my Calfornia Trimmer Classic. But this is the first time, yes, the first time I'm getting the beast on the perennial rye. All right, so with that, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in and see how well the catalyst is going to do on the perennial rye. Guys, so here's my front lawn. It's about 800 to 1,000 square feet of overseeded perennial rye. Now, I will say for the most part, this lawn has been fairly low maintenance. You know, I am battling some weeds just because obviously I did not use a pre-emergent. As you guys can see here, some of the weeds I'm battling, winter weeds. You know, my neighbor in that swell area there, you know, we are battling some POA, quite a bit over in his lawn. But I do have a little bit of POA, kind of just sprinkled throughout my lawn. Not too bad considering. Now the seed I used said it was POA free, but as you guys can see here, I do have a few more weeds that are popping through there. But overall, looking good, and can't wait to get the catalyst on the lawn. All right guys, so I'm very excited. This is going to be the first mow using my 25-inch catalyst on the perennial rye. Now, for those of you that have maybe just hopped onto my channel for the first time, welcome. But this is a 25-inch catalyst made by Calfornia Trimmer. Now, my particular catalyst is equipped with a groove front roller, along with the turf rake. And the cartridge I'm using for the 25-inch catalyst is a 7-blade reel. Some of you may be wondering, Dwayne, why aren't you using your 10-blade versus using the 7? Now, one of the reasons why I'm choosing to go with the 7-blade reel just for right now is because of the fact that I recently switched over in mowing my perennial rye from a rotary mower to a reel mower. So I may be taking off a little more grass than I normally would. You know, when I was mowing with my Ego rotary mower, I was probably mowing at about 1.5 inches, and I'm going to be bringing it down to about 1 inch. And I plan on bringing it down even a little bit further. But once I get to those heights of cuts that are probably about 3/4 inch or lower, if I choose to go lower on the perennial rye, that is, I'll be using the 10-blade cartridge. However, for right now, the 7-blade is the one I'm going to use because that's going to give me the best quality of cut. So with that, let's go ahead and start up the mower and get on with our first mow of the perennial rye. Off, fuel's on, throttle up. Now some of you might be curious, well Dwayne, why are you not using your grass catcher? Well truthfully, the reason why I'm not using a grass catcher, I normally would, but because of the fact that my front yard is pretty small and I really want to be able to maneuver around the front as best I can with that big mower, I think it's going to be a little bit easier for me to be able to do that without the grass catcher. Right, let me kind of come down just to kind of show you guys the height of cut. It is a little difficult to tell there, but it is set to 1 inch. All right, guys, so really quickly, Dwayne's tip of the day. Make sure you turn off your sprinklers before you start mowing. I almost got caught there. You guys see here, the sprinklers just came on and I was able to turn them off before it started to get everything wet. So with that, let's go ahead and finish up our mow. All right, so some of you guys might have seen this when I was doing my orbital spin, but what I did is I added an hours meter, an RPM gauge, to my Catalyst mower. So right now it's at idle, it's showing about 1700 RPM. Obviously when I bring it up, it's about 3,000 there. That's typically where I mow, at about 3,000 RPM. Let's go ahead and turn off the mower here. All right, guys, so definitely, mower needs a cleanup, especially because the grass got really wet there towards the end. But let's go ahead and take a look here and see how well the Catalyst did. Oh, man. Look at those stripes. You know, it's not necessarily the perfect angle. Let me see if I can come around, give you guys a better view. But I gotta tell you, the quality of cut, the mower, absolutely phenomenal. Hopefully when I come around to the backside here, we'll get a little bit better stripe action. So I'll show you guys. Yeah, sun's starting to come out here. Able to see it a little bit better here. But cannot complain with those stripes. Absolutely love it. All right, guys, so one of the things I'll say is I absolutely love this Catalyst. However, I don't know if I'm necessarily in love with how easy, yes, how easy it is to maneuver on my front lawn. Now, in some of the areas where I'm just going back and forth from the concrete, to the lawn back and forth, that's not a big deal. In fact, if my entire lawn was like that, hands down, very easy to operate. However, when it comes to actually maneuvering around my tree, the distance between the tree and the flower bed, or the distance between the flower bed back to the concrete, when you're having to make that turn, it makes it a little more difficult for you to be able to turn around and maneuver because of that drive roller. That drive roller is really going to give you that added stripe action in combination with the front roller. However, when I think about my front lawn, yes, I'm going to say this. I think I prefer my Calfornia Trimmer Classic or my McLean. And just because it's so much lighter, so much easier to maneuver. So if this was the only lawn I had, I probably would look at one of those mowers. And this is where, again, it's so important whenever you're selecting a lawnmower for your particular application that you're choosing the right one. I know we always want the biggest and the best, but sometimes it's not practical for your application. So really make sure you do your research so that way you pick the right mower that'll work for your actual lawn. So with that, let me go ahead and break out those rotary scissors because I have to clean up around that tree. All right, so I got my rotary scissors. Let's go ahead and clean up around the tree here. Guys, so I was planning on doing this video probably about 2 weeks ago. Just had a lot going on, couldn't get it in there, but I did get in a mow using my McLean. Now, I did not get the mow on video, but I got the results afterwards and what the lawn looked like. So I just want to show you guys because I got to tell you, even though my lawn looks good right now, oh my God, 2 weeks ago, it was absolutely blistering on fire. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened 2 weeks ago. Come on. Really? Look at those stripes. Oh my goodness. I gotta tell you guys, it is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon and there is absolutely no sun. But look at those stripes just light up. Guys, so yeah, I gotta tell you, looks great, right? Well, we want to keep it looking that way. All right, so one of the things I've been doing all season when it comes to this perennial rye is I've been feeding it with PGF Complete. You guys can see right here is the bag. If you guys want to pick some up, I'll go ahead and include it in the description below. But the formulation I went with is a 1608. And it's the same fertilizer I use when feeding my Bermuda during the growing season. Now, it has really done a phenomenal job in keeping my lawn looking on point. So I want to be able to continue that because we still got about another couple months here with the perennial rye before Yes, that's right. We're going to have to spray it out. And I'm not looking forward to that, so I'm going to enjoy it while I can. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and put down 3 pounds per thousand of the PGF Complete. All right, so I'm going to use my Scotch hand spreader to put this out, but I just want to show you guys the prill size. Absolutely love it, which is why I love it for the Bermuda, but it absolutely works great as a fertilizer on the perennial rye. So with that, let's go ahead and throw it down. All right, guys, so one of the things you do not want to do is you do not want to fertilize your concrete. So what do I mean by that? Well, whenever you're using any type of granular product, you may get some on your concrete. So you absolutely want to make sure you use your blower, get that back into the lawn before you turn on your irrigation or you have any rain. So that way you prevent the concrete from growing those beautiful rust spots. All right, so there we are. That's what we want. The sprinklers on after we mow, after we fertilize. Now we should be looking on point once that fertilizer kicks in. Now it won't take very long. It'll probably within a week I'll see definitely a big difference in the color. Now the color right now is already looking phenomenal, but that PGF Complete, because it's been about 3 weeks since I threw down my last treatment, definitely will take that green to another level. All right, guys, so one of the things I want to do before I end today's video is I want to give you a shot of the backyard here, just to kind of show you what it's looked like and what I've kind of done so far just to get the season started. All right, guys, so here's the lawn. Now, one of the things I have done is I've done a couple of cleanup passes. You know, the lawn right now is about 3/4 inch, maybe 5/8 in a couple areas, but for the most part, about 3/4 inch. Now, as you guys may or may not remember, I ended the last growing season at about 1 inch. So I've kind of taken off about 25% of that, which is definitely quite a bit. But I gotta tell you, I am dealing with so much POA in my lawn here. Now, I have sprayed some certainty on this, so you guys can see here. Looks like it's starting to die off in some of the areas. Now, I definitely have to maybe go back and do another treatment, but I definitely want to get this lawn ready for this growing season. So how am I going to do that? All right, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to break out the catalyst, and I'm going to thin out this turf using 2 of the cartridges that I have for my catalyst. And no, it's not the 7-blade, and it's not the 10-blade. It's my Verticut cartridge and my Scarifier cartridge. That's right. So after I use those 2 cartridges, I'll do a cleanup mow. Now, I may not even use my catalyst for the cleanup mow. I could use my McLean. I could use my Calfornia Trimmer Classic. And the only reason why I want to do that is I want to definitely keep that catalyst as sharp as possible. But I also got a lot of other things lined up. I want to do a backlot for you guys. So the list goes on, but you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to stay tuned. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, give me a like on this video. And remember, as always, be excellent, party on.